Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Rob Makes Prog. So this is going to be a bit of a different sort of episode because we're going to go back in time a little bit. So what I've done already is, as you can see here, I've recorded in the saxophone parts. They're very loud, so they need to come down. And they're a little bit messy, but they're all right. They're okay. The very last bit was very, very messy and took me, as you can see, 82... Well, on this whole track, I must have pressed record 82 times, which is quite a lot. It's by no means my highest number. I've got into the 300s before on certain passages on some of my albums. But it's definitely enough. I got very, very frustrated trying to get this right because of using the palm keys, which are up here. So, and it's very hard to keep them in tune. So what people who don't play the saxophone might not know about the saxophone is that they're very hard to play in tune. And the reason for this is that they're an instrument designed by a psychopath called Adolf Sax, who, let's give you a couple of Adolf Sax facts. Sax education with Rob. He invented the saxophone. He nearly died many, many times throughout his life for various reasons, illnesses and accidents and all sorts of stuff. And he also invented an organ so big that he wanted to play it outside of Paris so that everyone in Paris could hear it. He's a Belgian. And when people didn't want him to do this, he designed something called the sax cannon, which shot a bullet that weighed a whole ton in order to flatten Paris. Because he was a complete and utter nutcase. Anyway, he invented the saxophone to be a replacement for the clarinet in an orchestra. So in marching bands and things like that, the clarinet was too quiet, so someone suggested making something louder. He invented the saxophone for that purpose. But because of the way the saxophone is, around the middle of the instrument, that's where it can kind of stay in tune. You just kind of blow it there. But when you get to the bottom and to the top of the instrument on the scale, you have to use what's called voicing, which is changing the shape of your throat and the shape of your mouth to get the pitch right. And it's really, really tricky, and probably one of the hardest things about the saxophone. Like, you can learn your fingers, like, you can practice what your fingers are doing all day long, but if you haven't got voicing, then you're not going to be playing in tune. Now, I find the palm keys at the top of the register particularly difficult to play in tune, especially during fast passages. And on this, because I hadn't practiced it that much, there's quite a lot of awful out of tuneness, which you will be subjected to, so feel free to skip if it's hurting your ears. There's also recorded very loud, so there's probably some very loud bits. I'll try and do some balancing in the edit if I can, but we'll have to see. So without further ado, I'm going to stop this recording. I'm going to edit in all of the playing in of the saxophone. I'll try and keep it short and sweet for you because who wants to go through that painstaking nonsense with me? I might actually leave everything in, but speed it up so you can see how many takes it took. Because I want to keep it honest as to what I'm doing. I did turn off the recording a couple of times, just so I could practice it a bit more. And it was really helpful to do that. But I'll indicate where I did that as well. So, okay. I'm going to stop this recording now. Okay, so I'm going to record some of the sax now. I've actually done all of this already up until the complicated bit at the end, but I hadn't clicked record on OBS, and I've been talking to you like a moron with nobody being able to hear me. So I'm going to do it again because I want you to see me record it. It's a bit annoying, but it shouldn't be too bad because I've had a bit of practice now, except for on those last bits, so we'll see how we get on there. Okay, let's go. Bad takes. Oh no, it's done that again. Pin. Okay, let's rewind a bit. Okay. Scroll down a bit. We don't need to see that D because I know what's coming there. So I'll do it again. I messed up that F sharp note there. It was a bit rude. Bugger. I'm not getting good clear notes either because I'm not giving myself enough lead in time, I think. Where did I go? I messed up somewhere there, so I'll do that again from, say, here. Bugger. For some reason I can't get it right. Wasn't happy with that one either. I don't know what, I must have slipped or something. I don't know why that made the squeaky noise. I am a bit out of practice. Very irritating. Very irritating. I want to see beyond the... because I'm sight reading it basically. But it was an octave higher than I'd anticipate. Okay, we'll just go from here then. We'll come back to that bit, and we'll move on to the other long slow notes because they're just easy to get done, and then we will come back to these bits are actually pretty hard. But I'll get there. Probably easier on this than it is on the guitar, mine. Okay. That's going to be really tricky because it's using all the palm keys, isn't it? Right. Okay, so I just did a little practice. So I'm gonna. It's not fluent, so this is going to take a few takes still. Try that again. Okay. Nearly. Okay, I think that's probably it there. I think that's good enough. We've got one more bit to do then. Okay, that was about 2 minutes of practicing. Let's see how we get on. Back to here. Badly. Okay, that first bit's alright. well. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, God. Have a listen to that. Might be a bit loud. Apologies. That sounds horrible, horrible, horrible. It is really high up there, though. Why? Cubase. I say Cubase as if it's not entirely my doing. Bloody. But just get that bit. Forget the bit after. Just get that. Without it. Hear me getting frustrated. What did that sound like? Landed like a dying duck. Ow. Ow, I just smashed my saxophone into my tooth. So I'm not giving myself enough lead-in time again. Okay, calm down. Hello and welcome back. So you could probably hear me trying to talk a bit in there, but because the microphone was clipped onto the bell of the sax, you probably couldn't hear me say very much, but you may have heard me grunt in frustration at some of the passages. But here we are. So what we're going to do now is just tidy this up. I'm going to edit this a little bit so we can see what's going on and it's going to flow better. I'm going to keep some of the takes underneath because when I listen back, I haven't listened back to it at all yet. So when we do look at all these takes, I thought I deleted most of those. So, but when we come to it, we'll be able to switch stuff in and out if I haven't quite made it on a couple of the takes. There we go. That seems to be all in order. That's fine. We can tidy that up. We don't need that big gap there, do we? Of hiss and silence. We don't need that big gap there either. That's fine. So this is going to be raw. It's going to be quite loud. I've muted quite a lot of the other instruments. So let's just have a hear. Let's just have a listen to what's going on. I'll mute the original. That is coming in loud, isn't it? It's coming in very hot and screechy. I might just tame that a little bit with a bit of EQ. There we go. That sounds a little bit nicer, doesn't it? And we'll put a bit of reverb on it. Why not? I'm going to use my default favourite again, which is the English chapel. I like the French chapel as well. And then the mixes. If you leave the mix on, it sounds like this, which is interesting. It's got a long tail on it, so we reduce that down to about 30% of that. And then so that's all reverb you can hear. You can't hear any of the original signal. And then if you put it down to 0, that's only the original signal and no reverb. And between 15 and 20% is generally quite nice for the saxophone, I find. Mellotron, hey? Let's turn that down a bit. We want to hear the other instruments, and that's blaring over the top of everything else. I haven't done any sort of gain staging or volume balancing yet, but I will do, because we've nearly got everything recorded. I'm going to redo that flute bit, maybe today, even maybe in this episode, depending on how long. I don't know the combined length of time of all of this footage that we've got. So okay, I just want to put the other guitars on so we can hear what's going on. I'm going to mute the distortion on that one for now, just so we get it clean, and we're just going to hear what this sounds like. It's just DI'd, nothing special. Wow, it sounds really wonky, doesn't it? It doesn't sound like it's in time with itself, because it's probably not. this, like, what's going on here? There should be 2 notes there, for example. Is this guitar part messed up? Like, that should be, like, there. Those 3 are like... If I'm just going to quickly edit it like this, it might just sort it out. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but... It's just a scratch. Like this, though. There's a note missing there. Maybe it's that, but it's kind of flattened out a bit. I don't know. Okay. Okay, that seems better. We don't know what's going on here. I think I'm going to left pan and right pan these guitars for now, so they're not stumbling over each other too much. Let's get that to 60. Oh, we'll do that 65, and we'll do that 65 as well. Okay, it's a bit messy, isn't it? But that's okay. It's given me the idea. Like, hopefully you're getting a sort of idea of what it could sound like if it was done well. At the moment, it's not done well. I think this guitar needs to be souped up a little bit with the distortion. Let's see. Let's get this on the distortion as well, and see if we don't need it to be. I mean, it could just be clean with a bit of gain. Let's try that. Ah, it's flute. This guitar, I need to redo these bits of this guitar because they are off by a long way. Which is the one I edited? I think it was this one. I wonder if I can just grab those. Down, 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 excuse me. Forgot I was recording for a moment there. Let's hopefully that'll just sound a little bit. A little bit. just going to mute that flute. Say that again. I just put a bit of reverb on the second guitar there. A plate reverb. It might sound terrible. Let's put a... I think it'll just like bring it in line with the sax a bit more. You can get in the idea. It's sounding all right. I forgot to say, I did go after the disaster of last episode. I did go back this morning and redid all of these parts, and they're sounding a lot better now. They're sounding a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't have that horrible hissily whistly noise. It's just a stupid way of saying it, but there we go. It came out. Yeah, so I think the next thing to do is redo this flute, which I might practice a few times before committing to it. Because I did that in one take, I think. I mean, I did all of that in a couple, and then I did that in one. It must have been two, because 3 and 4 lit. 13 now. So I think, yeah, replace that flute, because it's very, very messy. It's very kind of intrusive and loud. I think maybe I'll stick with this, but maybe it's a case of doing this. I don't know. Let's just see what this sounds like first. If I just do that, turn them both on. Let's see. Oh, let's unsolo everything and then unmute them. Me laughing there. I think that was there. Cut that off. Okay, so I think that's basically... I think that's fine. Maybe I won't need to redo the flute for now. I mean, I'm going to redo it anyway, of course. When get my proper mics back. Not that this isn't a proper mic, it's just a clip-on for the sax. And I'll be using... What I usually use for pretty much everything is a... What does he call it? It's a string of letters and numbers. MD421. And it's a really nice mic. I really like it. It's really warm. It captures everything very nicely. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really I'm not an expert on microphones, but I really like that one, and I use it for pretty much everything. My vocals, the sax, the flute. I use it on the guitar amps. It colours the whole of my recordings usually. Use it on the bass, and it's good for bass. It's got a good bass response on it. So yeah. So what I'd normally do as well is when I record the actual parts for the bass and the guitar, I DI it like I do here, and then I feed it back through the amp. I reamp it, and the reason I do that is because I live in a shared house. There's a lot of people here, and I don't want them to listen to me doing hundreds and hundreds of takes at full volume on an amp. Instead, I can just reamp it. I can do the whole album in one go, so that takes maybe like an hour and a half for a 45-minute album, because I might have to do it a couple of times or do a couple of different tries or try a few settings, and then I'll probably have to do it again a couple of weeks later when I discover I've made a mistake or something like that. But anyway, it minimises the amount of time I have to have my amps on at full volume. And it also means I can get the guitar tracks pretty much perfect before having to do that. And so that's why I do that. I do the same on the bass as well. I had to go at reamping the saxophone tracks as well last time. It was interesting but unusable, so I decided not to in the end. So the next stages of this then, really, I've got to redo guitar 1 here. Like, this bit's all fine. This bit here is so much of a mess that it's not syncing up properly with these parts. I don't know if this one is either. It looks kind of alright from here, so I think this is the one that's the problem. Maybe it just doesn't feel as fluid as it should. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I need to change the part completely to get it to sound nice. It is a pain to play, but I never change a part because they're too hard to play. I just practice until I can play them, because that would be in service of me, not in service of the song, and everything has to be in service of the song, essentially. So yeah, so I'm going to redo that probably before we do the next episode, and I'm also then going to probably bounce this out into an MP3, stick it in my headphones while I'm walking about with my dog, and because that's how I review things on repeat in the headphones as I'm going about, and I'll be imagining then what comes next. I'm not sure about this doomy bit I've got going on here. I kind of feel like let's cut that off. Excuse me, bass, but I'm cutting you off. And that's just me improvising some bluesy guitar, which I don't think goes there either. I'm thinking acoustic guitar, but I have no idea what. Let's I don't know. I kind of want it. It's difficult. Because this feels very right. This feels very good. This feels like a part we could return to. It feels like a part we could return to but play it differently. We could even switch around what instrument's doing what. We could even reverse some of it. I don't know. But like this is the solid core of what we're doing here. This is like the intro, which we could return to at some point after a break. But here is where we want it to change. We want something contrasting, but that flows out of it. Contrasting, but feels like it belongs to it. So it could be that we take a part of this and slow it right down. Maybe this. And when I say this, I'm talking about this specific bit, this bass line. In fact, are we doing this now? I feel like we should leave this till next time. But it's too late. I'm following an impulse, and I can do nothing about it. If we stretch that out, we get double time on it. Let's hear what that sounds like. Oh, doesn't sound like anything because it's muted. Feels very odd. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it belongs. But if we take that sort of idea, we can switch this around. If it like what I'm thinking here is if it. I see what I've done wrong. We need this bit as well. Whoops. How many bars is that stick to? Yeah, not hearing it. I can hear an idea in there, but like actually focusing on what's going on there, that is not what's going to happen. But I'm thinking slower. I'm thinking more ploddy. I'm thinking more after all the excitement. It's like when if the rest of the song is the party, this bit is where you go outside for a breather, or go for a little walk into the woods, or go into the kitchen, and you kind of like take a little bit of time out. That's what I'm thinking here. That's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be that breather. The party's still going on in the background. You can kind of hear it a bit, and maybe we'll hear that in the music. But when we're out of it, we're proper out of it as well. So okay, that'll do for this episode, I think. So thank you very much for joining me on this wild roller coaster. Apologise for your ears in the sax bit if I haven't managed to sort it out in the edit, which I have yet to do. And I hope you join me for the next section, which is exciting, isn't it? Thank you very much. Goodbye.